Assalamu alaikum everybody. Our lesson today is talking about the decimal number and the place value of the decimal number. Firstly guys, let's know what is the decimal number. As I said to you before, that the decimal number has three parts. The first part, of course, which is the whole part, and the second part, which is the decimal part, and which separates the whole part and decimal part is called decimal point. So the decimal point here separates the whole part and the decimal part. Of course, we knew the decimal number because that number just was taken before, and there was a lesson before was talking about the decimal number, like that example, 4.86. 4.86 here has three parts. Of course, this number is a decimal number. It has three parts. The part which is before the decimal point, which is on the left of the decimal point, is called the whole part, which is 4 here. And the right part, which is 86, this part, of course, is the decimal part, and which separates them in the middle here, that dot or that point, which is called the decimal point. Okay, so that number, which is 4.86, this number, of course, is a decimal number. Okay, after that, guys, we want to know the place value of the decimal number. Of course, the place value of the decimal number, not like the place value of the whole number. Of course, you know that the whole number, like any number you know before, like 5, 8, 600, 700, 3, 30, 40, 46, and so on. All of those numbers are whole numbers. But what about the decimal number, which has the decimal point? Okay, which has the three parts: the whole part and the decimal part, and the decimal point. Now we want to know the place value of the decimal number. Of course, like the showing table here, this table, guys, shows the place value of the decimal number, which, yes, which has three parts, as I said to you before: the whole part and the decimal part and the decimal point. Of course, the decimal point, which is here, which is the black point here, and which is on the left of that decimal point, of course, will be called as the whole part, is that part which is on the left of the decimal point. Yes, and which is on the right of the decimal point is called is called the decimal part, and which is exactly in the middle here, of course, is called decimal point. Okay, and which is on the right is called what? As I said to you before, as I said to you here, it's called the decimal part. Okay, guys, so again, the decimal point in the middle, which is on the left of the decimal point, will be the whole part, and which is on the right of the decimal point will be the decimal part of the decimal number. Okay, guys? Okay. Let's now know how to write the fraction as a decimal. And also, as I said to you before, let's solve those questions to show what do I mean now. If I said you write the shaded part as a fraction and a decimal, of course, guys, we want to know how to write the shaded parts as a fraction. As I said to you before, that there is a rule for that one. Only use that rule, which is the shaded parts over all of the parts. So for that shape, how many shaded parts here? How many shaded small squares here? Only there are 4 squares are shaded here. 4 small squares are shaded here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be 4 shaded parts. Out of how many parts in total? Of course, there are 100 parts in total. So the fraction that represents the shaded parts here is 4 over 100, guys. Okay, or we can name it, as I said to you before, it's 400. Okay, how to write 400 now as a decimal number? Of course, you know, guys, that the hundredths, or the place of the hundredths, is the second number after the decimal point or on the right of the decimal point. So if we want to write that one as a decimal, of course we are gonna write it as 0.04. So 0.04 means 400ths here. So there is no tenths place, there is no tenths place, there is no ones place, only there's hundredths place. So that number is gonna be 0.04. And also that one also was taken before with that shape. How to write the shaded parts here as a fraction? Yes, let's count how many strips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gonna be 6 shaded out of all of the parts in total. 10 parts, so it will be 6 over 10, which will be written as a decimal number exactly 0.6, because it's called here 6 tenths, and you know that the tenth is placed exactly on the right of the decimal point. Okay, guys, I want you to remember the equivalent decimals. Yes, of course, guys, if you divided that shape, the same shape here, into 100 parts with no shading more, I will not shade more parts here. Just I want to divide that shape into 100 parts by drawing lines like that. Okay, I want to divide now the shape into 100 parts. Now that shape, guys, is divided into 100 small squares. Okay. If I want to know now the shaded parts here as a fraction, but the parts or the small square parts here. Okay. For the small square parts here, guys, how many small square parts here are shaded? Of course, if we count it here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So it will be 60 out of total. How many? Of course, it will be 60 over 100. I want you to know that I didn't shade any part more. Yes, I didn't shade more parts here, guys. Okay, so the same shaded parts here, okay, will be 60 over 100. Okay, which will be written as a decimal as exactly 0.60. And I want you to know that 0.6 and 0.60 represent the same shaded parts here, because I didn't shade anything more. So I want you to know that 0.6 equals to 0.60 because both numbers here represent the same shaded parts. So I can say that 0.6 equals to 0.60, okay, which here are called equivalent decimals. Okay, so 0.6 and 0.60 are called here equivalent decimals because both of them represent the same shaded parts here. Okay, so those two decimals are called equivalent decimals. Only I want you to know that how to write the equivalent decimal only by putting zeros on the right. Just annex zeros on the right or put zeros on the right as you can. Okay, of course the number will not be changed. The value of that number will not be changed. Doesn't change. Okay, okay. One more example here. Write the shaded parts as a fraction and a decimal. Okay, that shape here, guys, is has two parts. Yes, the first rectangle here, all of the parts here, of course, are shaded, and the second rectangle, only some parts are shaded. Okay, guys. If you looked at that shape, which all the parts are shaded, of course, that means the whole part, the whole shape is shaded. So that means one whole. Okay, so that will be one whole. And the other one, how many parts are shaded here? Just count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 54 here, guys. So it will be 54 over 100. Okay. Now here, this one, the whole shape is shaded. Okay, and the other rectangle, only 54 parts are shaded. So the first whole, which is going to be 1, of course, and 54 over 100, which will be 0.54, and 1 and 0.54 will be what? Exactly, will be 1.54. So write the shaded parts for that shape here as a fraction and as a decimal. As a fraction will be this one be one whole, and the other one will be 54 over 100. If we added them, we will get also 1 and 54 over 100, and as a decimal will be 1.54. Okay, guys. After that, let's know different ways to represent numbers. What are, of course, you know, guys, that we talked before three forms for any number. The first form is called expanded form, and the second form is called the standard form, and the third form is called number name or word form. Okay, so also for the decimal numbers, guys, we have three forms. The first form is called standard form. Okay, what is the standard form, guys? Standard form, and the other form is called expanded, and the last form is called number name or word form, as I said. So for the standard form, guys, that's a way to write numbers by using the digits from 0 to 1. Only write the digits of the number. If you wanna write the standard form of any number, just write that number in digits only. Okay. What about the expanded form, guys? Only write the value of each digit in the number separated by plus plus plus. Okay, so that's a way to write the numbers by adding the value of each digit. What about the number name, guys? Only write the number in letters, or write the number, or write the number in words. Okay, only a way to write that number using words. Okay, let's take some examples. Decimal point, guys. Of course, let's remember now what did I say about the decimal point. As I said to you before, that the decimal point separates the whole part, the whole number part, and the decimal part, and equivalent decimals. How to get equivalent decimals? Only by adding zeros on the right of the decimal number. Of course, the decimal number doesn't change if you added zeros on the right, like those examples, like these numbers here. 0.89 can be written as 0.890, or it can be written also as 0.8900, and so on. So if you put zeros on the right, the number will not be changed. The value of the number doesn't change. Okay, guys, let's take some questions now for the value or for the place value of the decimal number. How to read and write decimals in words first. Of course, if there is a number here like 3.86, for example, how to read this number and how to write it in words. Firstly, guys, there are 3 steps for that way, for reading and writing decimals in words. Step 1, I want you to read the digits on the left of the decimal point as a whole number. Read it normally as a whole number, which is on the left of the decimal point. Step 2, read the decimal point as the word and. Step 3, read the digits on the right of the decimal point as a whole number also, followed by the place value of the rightmost digit, of the last digit on the right. Okay, let's do an example. If I say, dear guys, write this number in standard form, which is that one, 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.03 plus 0.006. How to write that number in the standard form? Let's remember the place value table or the place value chart, which is that one. Here, decimal point in the middle, which is on the left of decimal point, ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, and as normal, of course, as you know, and which is on the right of the decimal point will be tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and so on. Okay, so for that number, which is 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.03 plus 0.006, 5 here, of course, it's 1, so it's gonna be on the left of the decimal point, and 0.5 means 5 tenths, so it will be on the right of the decimal point, which is here. Then 0.03 means 3 hundredths, so I have to put 3 in the hundredths place, which will be here. Then first we put the decimal point now, then put 5 once exactly, and as I said here 0.03, 3 here means 3 hundredths, you have to put it in the hundredths place, and thousandths you have to put 6 thousandths in the thousandths place to be 5.536. So that number now is written in the standard form, which is 5.536. How to read it? As I said to you before, just read the digit which is on the left as a whole number only, as 5, and read the decimal point as the word and read the number on the right also as a whole number. Then say the place value of the rightmost digit, which is on the right. How to read it again? So just say like that: 5 and 536 thousandths. Why did I say thousandths here? Because thousandths is the place value of the last digit or of the rightmost digit, which is 6 here. So how to read it again, guys? Just say it like that: 5 and 536 thousandths. Okay. For example, write this number in the standard form and word form, which is that number 20 plus 7 plus 0.2 plus 0.03 plus 0.009. Also use the table, or use the place value table, which is that one. How to write the standard form? As I said to you, put every number in its place. First, the 20, this one is in the tens place. Just put 2 in the tens place and 7 here in the ones place. Then put the decimal point, yes. Then put here 0.2 means 2 tenths, so put 2 in the tenths place. Then 0.03 means hundredths, 3 hundredths, so put 3 in the hundredths place. Then 0.009 means 9 thousandths, so put 9 in the thousandths place. So that number will be 27.239. How to read it again? As I said, read the number which is on the left of the decimal point as a whole as 27. They read the decimal point as and. They read the number which is on the right of the decimal point as a whole number also, like 27 and 239 thousandths. So you have to say thousandths at the end because that's the place value of the rightmost digit, which is 9 here. Okay. And if I want to write the word form, exactly like what did I read now, which is 27 and yes, 239 thousandths. Okay. Okay. One more example. Write this number in the standard form, which is that one: 7 times 1 plus 3 times 1 over 10 plus 6 times 1 over 1000. Firstly, 7 times 1, of course, is going to be 7. Then 3 times 1 over 10 here, guys, or 7 times 1 means 7 ones. And 3 times 1 over 10 means 3 tenths. Then 6 times 1 over 1000 means 6 thousandths. Okay, and as I said, also remember the place value chart, which is that one. Firstly, 7 ones. Where will we put 7 here, guys? Put it in the ones place. Then put the decimal point exactly. Then 3 times 1 over 10 means, as I said, 3 tenths. So I have to put 3 in the tenth place. Then, of course, if you look at the number again, there is no hundredths here. There is no 1 over 100 here. So I'll put, of course, 0 in the hundredths place because there is no hundredths here. But there is 6 times 1 over 1000, which means 6 thousandths. So you have to put 6 under the thousandths place, which will be 7.306. If someone put it, guys, at 7.36, of course, will be wrong, because he will consider here 6 as 6 hundredths. Of course, there is no hundredths here, so the answer will be 7.306. Okay, let's solve the questions in the book now. Question number 1, he says the number 2.452 has two 2's. Why does each 2 have different value? Of course, guys, because they don't have the same place value. Okay, so 2 here, the first 2 which is on the left is the ones place, and the other 2, of course, in the thousandths place. So both 2's here, the two 2's here, of course, don't have the same place value, so of course they will be different. Okay, so the first 2, it's in the ones place, and the second 2 is in the thousandths place. Question 2, from question 2 to 3, write each number in the standard form. How to write the standard form? As I said, write the number in digits, guys. 5 plus 0.5 plus 0.03 plus 0.006. As I said, 5 in the ones place, then put the decimal point. 0.5 means 5 tenths, which is exactly on the right of the decimal point. Then 0.03 means 3 hundredths, which is beside the tenths. Then 0.006 means 6 thousandths, which is beside the hundredths, which will be 5.536. How to read this number again? As I said, let's read it as 5 and 536 thousandths, because thousandths is the place value of the rightmost digit, which is 6 here. Question 3, 2 and 69 thousandths. Yes, right, 2, then and at the decimal point, 69 thousandths. Here there is no tenths in tenths place, okay? So as I said, write the number as a whole, 69, okay? But he said thousandths. So if you wrote it as 2.69, yes, will be 2 and 69 hundredths. But he means here thousandths. So we have to write 3 digits after the decimal point, which will be 2.069. Okay, question 4 to 6, write each number in the standard form. 3 times 1 plus 6 times 1 over 100. 3 times 1 means 3 ones, and 6 times 1 over 100 means 6 times 1 over 100 means 6 hundredths. So will be 3 point. There is no tenths place, so you have to put 0 in the tenths place, and put here the ones place is 3. And the tenths place, of course, there is no tenths place, because of that I put 0 here, and there is hundredths place, so you have to put 6 here, so it will be 3.06. Question 5, 7 times 1 plus 3 times 1 over 10 plus 4 times 1 over 1000. 7 times 1 means 7 ones. 3 times 1 over 10 means 3 tenths. 4 times 1 over 1000 means 4,000. Okay, so put it 7 exactly, then decimal point, then there is a tenth place, there is a tenth number here, which will be 3, but there is no hundredths place here, so put 0 instead of the hundredths place, and put 4 in its place, which is the thousandths place, which will be 7.304. So if someone wrote 7.34, of course, would be wrong, because there is no hundredths place here. Question 6, 5 and the 20 hundredths. 5 and the 20 hundredths, yes, write 5, then and as a decimal point, as I said to you before. 20 hundredths, yes, just write 20, just write only 2 digits after the decimal point, which will be 5.20, exactly like that. Question 7 to 10, write 2 decimals that are equivalent to the given decimal. As I said to you before, how to write equivalent decimal easily? By adding zeros to the right of the decimal number. If you added zeros to the right of the decimal number, of course, the decimal number doesn't change. Okay, its value will be as it is. So if you can erase 0, you can add 0 to the right, or you can cancel 0, whatever. Okay, what do you want to do? So question 7, 3.300, which is equivalent to 3.300, we can write it as 3.3 or 3.30, or we can write it as 3.3 thousand, or we can write it as 3.3 30,000 and so on. 9.1 exactly will be 9.10 or 9.100, just add 0 to the right. 9.60 it can be written as 9.6 or 9.600 or as you want. If you want to put more zeros, you can put more zeros, no problem for that, because the number doesn't change, the value of the number doesn't change if you put 0 or if you cancel 0 for the decimal number. 4.400 can be written as 4.4 or 4.400 or 4.4000 and whatever. Okay, guys, and that's our lesson today. Excuse me, it was so long, and we hope that you got everything. Okay.